विश्वगुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna to everyone. So we are reading Srila Prabhupada's books, Raj Vidya, the King of Knowledge, Chapter 5, Parampara, Knowledge through the Disciplic Succession. So we'll just go through with the last week's summary points, few points. So how it is authentic to understand the Bhagavad Gita in a disciplic parampara system. So an authentic understanding of Bhagavad Gita must come through the disciplic succession parampara, starting from Krishna himself. So Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Align your knowledge with Arjuna's to ensure correctness. Then most important point was this Bhagavad Gita book is a not casual book. It cannot be grasped like no purchasing in a market and reading or using dictionary. No, this science can be understood, which was lost, and this science was spoken by Krishna to Arjuna again on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and this was this message we can understand with a proper transmission, not with the professional way, like a training under. If Prabhupada gives an example, once get trained under a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer, then only he gets perfect knowledge, not by just like purchasing books and reading and understanding. You'll not become a perfect. So that is not the authorized source. And then there's one more important point was deductive knowledge versus inductive knowledge. Inductive knowledge means knowledge acquired through our senses, which are imperfect because our senses are limited. And deductive knowledge is the only knowledge which is a perfect and which can be accepted through the authority. So we'll continue where we stopped in the last week. Vedic knowledge is not a recent discovery. Prabhupada is saying this Vedic knowledge is not a Vedic discovery. It is all old revealed knowledge. Krishna refers to it as Puratanaha. Krishna refers in the Bhagavad Gita saying this knowledge is a Puratana, which means ancient. Krishna says that millions of years before he spoke this yoga to the sun god, and we do not know how many millions of years before that he spoke it to someone else. This knowledge is always being repeated, just as summer, autumn, winter, and spring are repeated every year. Every year we see the season, winter season after winter season, the summer season after the summer season, autumn, the spring season. So it like season gets repeated. So Prabhupada is giving the example of how this knowledge is always being repeated. Our fund of knowledge is very poor. We do not even know the history of this planet more than 5,000 years back. But the Vedic literature gives us histories extending millions of years ago. Just because we have no knowledge of what happened 3,000 years ago on this planet, we cannot conclude that there was no history then. Of course, one can disclaim the historical validity of Krishna. One may say that Krishna, according to Mahabharata, lived 5000 years ago, and this being the case, there is no possibility of his having spoken Bhagavad Gita to the sun god so many millions of years before. If I said that I gave a speech on the sun some millions of years ago on the sun god to the sun god, people would say Swamiji is speaking some nonsense. But this is not the case with Krishna, for he is supreme personality of Godhead. Whether we believe that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to sun god or not, this is fact. This fact is being accepted by Arjuna. Arjuna accepted Krishna as the supreme lord, and therefore he knew that it was quite possible for Krishna to have spoken to someone millions of years before. Although Arjuna personally accepts the statements of Sri Krishna in order to clarify the situation for people who would come after him. He asks, Aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katam etad vijaniyam tam ado proktavaniti. This is Arjuna is asking to Krishna. The sun god Vivaswani is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? This is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 4th verse. Actually, this is a very intelligent question, and Krishna answers it in this way. Bahuni me vetitani janmani tava Arjuna tani ham veda sarvani natvam veda parantapa. Translation: many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. Krishna immediately answers this in the next verse, 4.5, where Arjuna asks to Krishna, saying, Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. So, how can I understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him, to Vivaswan? So, Krishna is answering Arjuna's question, saying that many births both you and I have passed. But only Krishna can remember all of them, but Arjuna cannot. We'll see how Prabhupada is explaining this. Although Krishna is God, he incarnates many times. Arjuna, being a living entity, also takes his birth many times. The difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and a living entity is Tani Aham Veda Sarvani. Krishna remembers the events of his past incarnations, whereas the living entity cannot remember. That is one of the differences between God and man. God is eternal and we are also eternal. But the difference is that we are always changing our bodies. At death, we forget the events of our lifetime. At death, we forget the events of our lifetime. Death means forgetfulness. That's all. At night, when we go to sleep, we forget that we are the husband of such and such a wife and the father of such and such children. We forget ourselves in sleep. But when we wake up, we remember, oh, I'm so and so, and I must do such and such. See, Prabhupada is given here a beautiful example to understand how we forget and how Krishna does not forget. He remembers everything. He remembers the past, Krishna remembers the present, and Krishna knows the future also. But being a conditioned living entity, we forget. And this forgetfulness, for this forgetfulness, Prabhupada gives a wonderful example that when you go, everyone goes at night sleep. So when we sleep, we don't even know who I am. I'm a husband of such and such a wife. I'm a father of such and such children. I'm an employee such and such, no company. Everything we forget. But as soon as we wake up, we remember all these things. It's a fact that in our previous lives, we had other bodies with other families, fathers, mothers, and so on in other countries. But we have forgotten all of this. We might have been dogs or cats or men or gods, whatever we were, we have now forgotten. Whatever we were in the previous life, we have forgotten. We don't know what was our previous life. It might be any animal like cat, dog, or even human being, or even gods, demigods. Despite all these changes, as living entities, we are eternal. Just as in previous lives, we are prepared for this body. In this lifetime, we are preparing for another body. We get our bodies according to our karma or activities. Those who are in the mode of goodness are promoted to higher planets. In a higher status of life, it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, is higher status of life. Those who died in the mode of passion remain on the earth, and those who die in the mode of ignorance may fall into the animal species of life or may be transferred to a lower planet. This is the process that has been going on, but we forget it. At one time, Indra, the king of heaven, committed an offense. Prabhupada has given one beautiful story of King Indra. At one time, Indra, the king of heaven, committed an offense at the feet of his spiritual master. His spiritual master was Brahaspati. All the demigods has spiritual master, and his name is Brahaspati. So once Brahaspati entered when King Indra was sitting on a throne, but by seeing a spiritual master, he did not got up. He remained sitting on his throne. That is an offense. It is mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami that as soon as one sees a spiritual master, one should stand up and offer his pranama, his respectable obeisances. But Lord Indra offended. He not got up, he did not got up and not offered obeisances. And his spiritual master cursed him to take the birth of a hog. Thus the throne of the heavenly kingdom became empty as Indra went to earth to become a hog. Seeing the situation, Brahma came to earth and addressed the hog. Hog, my dear sir, you have become a hog on this planet earth. I have come to deliver you. Come with me. This is Brahma is speaking to Indra. Indra who has become hog on this earthly planet. So Lord Brahma has come to earthly planet to take back King Indra. Come with me at once. But the hog replied, Oh, I cannot go with you. I have so many responsibilities, my children, wife, and this this nice hog society. Even though Brahma promised to take him back to heaven, Indra, in the form of a hog, refused. This is called forgetfulness. Similarly, Lord Sri Krishna comes and says to us, exactly in a way like how Lord Brahma came to earthly planets and informed Indra to come back to the heavenly planets. You are a king of the heaven. So similarly, Indra denied it. Indra, in the form of a hog, he is saying, I have so many responsibilities. My children are there, my wife is there, and the society is very nice. So, similarly, Krishna comes to this earthly planet and says to us, what are you doing in this material world? Sarva dharman parityajya Mam Ekam Sharnam Vraja. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 66 verse, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, give up all the religion and just surrender to me. Come to me and I will give you all protection. But we say, I don't believe you, sir. I have more important business here. This is the position of the conditioned soul, forgetfulness. This forgetfulness is quickly dissipated by following in the path of disciplic succession. See, at the summary point, Prabhupada is saying how we can dissipate the ignorance, this forgetfulness. Forgetfulness is due to our ignorance, and this ignorance we can dissipate only by the following the path of this disciplic succession. Here ends the chapter 5. Chapter 6, knowledge of Krishna's appearance and his activities. There are two forces of nature working in us. By one, we decide that in this lifetime we will make spiritual advancement. But at the next moment, the other force, Maya or illusionary energy, says, what is all this trouble that you are going to? Just enjoy this life and be easy with yourself. This tendency to fall into forgetfulness is the difference between God and man. Arjuna is a companion and associate of Krishna's, and whenever Krishna appears on any planet, Arjuna also takes birth and appears with him. When Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to the sun god, Arjuna was also present with him. But being a finite living entity, Arjuna could not remember. Forgetfulness is the nature of the living entity. We cannot even remember what we were doing at this exact time yesterday or a week ago. If we cannot remember this, how is it possible to remember what happened in our previous lives? At this point, we may ask how it is that Krishna can remember and we cannot. The answer is that Krishna does not change his body. The difference in the living entity and the Krishna is Krishna does not change his body, whereas the living entity changes his body. देहिनस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहांतर प्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र नुम्यति. Dehantar prapti, one after another, even from the childhood to boyhood to youthhood, the living entity changes his body. But Krishna, even he is in childhood, he is in youthhood, he is always Krishna. He doesn't change his body. Here Prabhupada is explained, Ajopi san avyatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim sam adhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. When Krishna appears, he appears in his original transcendental form. The word Atma Maya means that Krishna descends as he is. He does not change his body, but we, as conditioned souls, change ours, and because of this, we forget. Krishna knows not only the past, present, and future of his activities, but the past, present, and future of everyone's activities. Krishna knows everything, not only past, present, and future of his activities, but also everyone's activities he knows. Vedam samatitani sarvatamani charjana bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. O Arjuna, As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we also find that the Supreme Lord is defined as one who knows everything. This is not the case with even the most elevated living entities, such as Brahma and Shiva. Only Vishnu or Krishna knows everything. We may also ask that if the Lord does not change his body, why does he come as an incarnation? There is much difference among philosophers concerning this question. Some say that Krishna assumes a material body when he comes, but this is not the case. If he assumes a material body like ours, he could not remember, for forgetfulness is due to the material body. The actual conclusion is that he does not change his body. God is called all powerful, and the verse quoted above, his omnipotence is explained. Krishna has no birth and he is eternal. Similarly, the living entity has no birth and he is also eternal. It is only the body with which the living entity identifies that takes birth. In the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the second chapter, Krishna explains that what we accept as birth and death is due to the body, and as soon as we regain our spiritual body and get out of the contamination of birth and death, we should be qualitatively as good as Krishna. That is the whole process of Krishna consciousness. The whole process of Krishna consciousness is to get out of this contamination of birth and death, and we should be qualitatively as good as Krishna. The revival of our original Sachit Ananda spiritual body, that body is eternal, Sat, full of knowledge, Chit, and blissful Ananda. This material body is neither Sat nor Chit nor Ananda. It is perishable, whereas the person who is occupying the body is imperishable. The body is perishable, but the occupier of the body is imperishable. To understand this, Prabhupada gives a wonderful example. Say we are in a rented house. So that rented house, when we leave one house to the another house, the house only we change the house, but not the person. We are the same. Similarly, the body is a perishable. This is present. We are residing. The soul is residing in this house. And once this house becomes old or get damaged, we change this house, and the soul enters to another house. That's what it's called. Soul is imperishable. It is also full of ignorance, and the body is also full of ignorance. And because it is ignorant and temporary, it is full of misery. We feel severe hot or severe cold due to the material body. But as soon as we revive our spiritual body, we become unaffected by dualities. Even while within the material bodies, there are yogis who are impervasive to dualities. The yogis who are impervasive to these dualities, such as heat and cold. As we begin to make spiritual advancement while in the material body, we begin to take one on the qualities of the spiritual body. If we put iron into a fire, it becomes hot, and then it becomes red hot, and finally it is no longer iron but fire. Whatever, wherever it touches, burns into flames. As we become advanced in Krishna consciousness, our material body will become spiritualized and will no longer be affected by material contamination. Here, Prabhupada is explaining how this body is material, but how we can make it spiritual by the advancement in advance in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada gives an example, just like an iron rod put into fire. So it becomes hot. Then when it becomes hot, it is no longer a iron rod. It will act exactly like a fire. Whoever touches you, wherever it touch, it will burn. Krishna's birth, his appearance and disappearance are likened unto the appearance and disappearance of the sun. In the morning, it appears as if the sun is born from the eastern horizon, but actually it is not. The sun is neither rising nor setting, it is as it is in its position. All risings and settings are due to the rotation of the earth. Sun planet is in one place only, it is stagnant, but earth is rotating. So since earth is rotating, it appears for us that sun is rising and sun is setting. But in actually, sun is neither is rising nor is setting. He is in a one position, in a one place only. Similarly, in Vedic literatures, there are prescribed schedules for the appearance and disappearance of Sri Krishna. Krishna's rising is just like the sun. The sun's rising and setting are going on at every moment. Somewhere in the world, people are witnessing sunrise and sunset. It is not that at one point Krishna is born and at another point he is gone. He is always there somewhere, but he appears to come and go. Krishna appears and disappears in many universes. We only have experience of this one universe, but from Vedic literatures we can understand that this universe is but a part of the infinite manifestations of the Supreme Lord. Although Krishna is the Supreme Lord and is unborn and unchangeable, he appears in his original transcendental nature. The word Prakriti means nature. In the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that there are many kinds of nature. These have been characterized into three basic types. There is external nature, internal nature, and marginal nature. The external nature is a manifestation of this material world, and in the seventh chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this is described as apara or material nature. When Krishna appears, he accepts the higher nature, Prakritim Swam. Krishna says, Prakritim Swam Adhisthaya, Sambhavami Atmamaya, by my own nature, not in the inferior material nature. Sometimes the head of a state may go to the prison house. Here Prabhupada is giving example of a some head of the state who goes to the prison house just in order to inspect the prison and see the inmates there. But the prisoners are in error if they think the head of the state has come to prison, so he is a prisoner just like us. As pointed out before, Sri Krishna states that fools deride him when he descends in human form. When Lord Krishna appeared on this earth 5,000 years ago, many people deride him. Who are there? Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita, only fools can deride him when he descends in the human form. So understand this, Prabhupada is given one beautiful example stating that a head of the state visit the prison house, but he is not one among the prisoner. He just to inspect, no, just to inquire how it is, how the prison house is running, to see things how happening. He is visited, but prisoners are thinking that he is also one of the prisoner. He is also one of the prisoner, just like us. So fools deride Krishna when Krishna descends in human form. Krishna, as the Supreme Lord, can come here at any time and we cannot object. Just like the state, the head of the state, he can go anytime to the prison house. He no need anyone's permission to go to the prison house. Similarly, Krishna can come to this material world at any time. We cannot, no one can object him and say that he cannot come. No one can object Krishna saying that no, no, you cannot come here. No prisoner can object the state of the head to come to the prison. He is fully independent. Krishna is fully independent and he can come and disappear as he likes. If the head of a state goes to visit a prison, we are not to assume that he is forced to do so. Krishna comes with a purpose, and that is to reclaim fallen conditioned souls. We do not love Krishna, but Krishna loves us. He claims everyone as his son. Just like Narendra Modi recently he visited one of the prison house. It came in the news that Narendra Modi visited the prison house. So similarly, the prisoners they should not think that he is also part of this prison house. No, he has independence. He has freedom. He can go anytime. No prisoner can say, no, no, Narendra Modi cannot come at this time. Nobody can object. Exactly similarly, a conditioned living entity of this material world cannot object Krishna, or he cannot tell, no, no, Krishna cannot come here. Krishna is fully independent. He can come anytime and he can disappear as he likes. So, and Krishna claims here that everyone as his son. Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. Here Krishna is saying Sarva Yonishu, not only the human beings. There are 84 lakhs of yonis, 84 lakhs of species, and out of that, only 4 lakh species are the human beings. So here Krishna is claiming Sarva Yonishu Kauntya. He is not saying only human Yonishu Kauntya. No, Sarva Yoni, all the 84 lakh species are, he is the father, he is the seed giving father. Sarva Yonishu Kauntya Murtaya Sambhavantiya Tasam Brahma Mahad Yonir Aham Bija Pradapita. Aham means Krishna. Krishna is the only seed giving father. Translation: it should be understood that all species of life, Osanap Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed giving father. The father is always affectionate to son. The son may forget the father, but the father can never forget the son. Krishna comes to the material universe out of his love for us to deliver us from the miseries of birth and death. We say, my dear son, Krishna says, my dear sons, why are you rotting in this material world? Come to me, and I will give you all protection. We are the sons of the Supreme, and we can enjoy life very supremely without any misery and without any doubt. Therefore, we should not think that Krishna comes here just as we do. Being obliged by the laws of nature, the Sanskrit word avatara literally means he who descends. Avatara word is used only for Krishna or his pure devotees, acharyas. Just like tomorrow is the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, who appears. Either Krishna comes or his representative comes to this material world. And their purpose is only one, to liberate all these suffering souls and take them back to the abode of Krishna's, where there are no birth, death, old age, or disease. One who descends from the spiritual universe into the material universe through his own will is called an avatara. One who descends from the spiritual universe in the material universe through his own will. Through his own will, the acharyas come not by the force. All the conditioned living entities comes to this material world by force. But acharyas and Krishna, they descends out of their own will. So for that reason it is called avatara. Sometimes Sri Krishna descends himself and sometimes he sends his representative. The major religions of the world, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, and Muslim, believe in some supreme authority or personality coming down from the kingdom of God. In the Christian religion, Jesus Christ claimed to be the Son of God and to be coming from the kingdom of God to reclaim conditioned souls. This is the business of all the acharyas who descend from the spiritual world to this material world, this bhautik world, and they appear just for only one purpose, and the purpose is to reclaim all the conditioned souls to the kingdom of God. As the followers of Bhagavad Gita, we admit this claim to be true. So basically, there is no difference of opinion. In details, there may be differences due to difference in culture, climate, and people. But the basic principle remains the same. That is, God or His representatives come to reclaim conditioned soul. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Krishna descends whenever and wherever there are decline in the religious practice. That time either Lord Krishna descends or he sends his bona fide representative to this material world. So we'll stop here. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So if anyone has any doubt or any question, uh, please feel to ask based on what we read today. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. I think no one has doubts. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.